Welcome to Forensic Friday.
Where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. Hi, friend.
Hi.
As if we didn't just spend all day together. So Nat and I are gearing up to record tonight. She's wearing a comfort set.
I am my green comfort set. It's the first time I've worn it since being pregnant.
The funniest thing happened. I went to get my extensions done because, Rhett and I are learning together how this
Yeah.
works. And she was so cute. She was in a comfort set and didn't even know that we had our code. So I was like, girl, we have a code for this.
Yeah.
But she was so cute. And I brought her the pink Forensic Friday hat. That's why we put it on socials because we were just hanging out. She came in on a Sunday to sort me out.
Yeah.
She's the best ever. I love her.
Did I hear that there's more of it falling out right now?
I don't really know. Here's the thing. I think it's just growing out, and I have very low tolerance for it
Mm.
not being real tight. I actually prefer it tight. It feels like real secure. So
Yeah.
some of it's like normal. It grows out a little bit. It just happens
Oh,
to freak me out.
right.
So I'm drinking some tart cherry juice and what do I have in here? Magnesium, NAC,
Okay.
and I have done the test and I do get better quality sleep when I do this at night.
I love that.
I don't know if it's a placebo or not, but my nurse practitioner recommended it. I am not a doctor. Don't do things because we do them because that's dumb. But also cheers because this works well for me. So talk to your person and find a little sleepy cocktail. Well, yes, or an actual cocktail.
I have wine.
But not every night. Every night you might have a problem. So you don't want to use that to go to bed every
I
night.
don't have, yeah, I don't have wine every night. I actually, before I was pregnant, I would have magnesium with tart tart cherry juice and sparkling water.
That's what I'm doing. It's so
Yeah.
good.
No, I know. It's really good for you.
Got
And
my little poppy. Listen, Nat can testify. Years ago, when I was working an insane schedule, I did not
Mhm.
take care of myself, and I figured out that my airway's trying to close up every year, which is a weird one in a million thing, and I'm having surgery in a couple weeks for it. But Nat saw me literally ignore my body for years.
Mhm.
And your girl doesn't do that anymore. I have my
I know.
salads.
I'm
I
so
make my
proud of you.
I know I have my yogurt in the morning with my chia seeds because it helps with having your ADHD medicine stay really stable in your bloodstream. It's all good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a healthy 40s. This was my whole intention, and I am doing it.
You're doing great. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, I don't think we have to go downhill. I think we get a lot of messages. We get messages about taking care of our appearance. Okay, that those are
Yeah.
the messages we get.
Yeah.
But I am just not down with not feeling well as I get older and just accepting it. I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I want to feel good. And when I feel better, I act better, which is good for
Mhm.
everybody. And, I know you're a big wellness influence in my life for sure, because
I know. I love that about our
you take good care
relationship.
of yourself, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that you have, paid attention to that because I think it's hard to sometimes, and it's when we like get into a system for so long. You're at the previous place we worked at for a long time and ignored your body, and it's easy to continue down that path. So
Yeah.
I am proud of you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Well, you've been such a good influence because I like the balance that you have in your life. You will be like, hey, let's get a crumble cookie, but then you also work out and you eat healthy and you just have good balance. You've been a great influence for me that way.
Aw, thanks.
No, it's the
Well,
truth.
here's the thing. You gotta have a little crumble in your life sometimes.
You do.
But I also am someone who I don't feel great if I don't work out. My emotions go
Oh,
haywire.
yeah. Yeah.
And it just helps with anxiety and angst that I get.
Well, and behavior is contagious. And so, one of the things that I love about our friendship is I hope that I have a positive influence on you and you have a positive influence on me. And that gets even more important as we get older because our circle tends to get a little smaller as we get older.
Yep.
And it's just really good to take good care of each other,
Yeah.
ourselves, you know?
challenge that, you know? I think you've really helped me in honestly, like, I don't know how to say this. Like, we were talking on the phone. That's the funny part about our friendship is we were talking on the phone on the way
Left
home.
work, talked on the phone on the way home till we get in the garage.
And then I was like, I'm home. Well, I'll see you in a sec. But, you know, like the business aspect of things and, you know, I appreciate like you can point out certain things that I don't always see in like my work ethic, and that's just cool, you know?
I know. I would make each other better. It's a good thing.
Great.
So, my forensic friends, this is actually a local story that's kind of unfolding in real time, and
Hmm.
it's super important. And
Yeah,
it's kind of domestic violence adjacent. So, we're
perfect.
going to be talking about Kylie Bearse, Bearse, and she is a local
Yes.
Denver
Mm.
meteorologist, which also that is my dream job if I was not a therapist.
A
I
meteorologist?
know it's really weird. I grew up in the Midwest and storms are my jam. I get very excited about weather. It's just it's very weird.
That is very weird.
One of my favorite things about living on the Front Range is we can see the storms pile up behind the mountains, whether it's snow or,
Yeah.
whatever. And I freaking love it. I'm a
Oh,
big nerd. And when you're little in the Midwest, you get a tornado warning, you go in the basement, you get to stay up late. Now I'm older, I'm like, my God, my house could blow away. Like it's way scarier. But when you're a kid, I get to hang
it's
out with my
fine.
parents late and maybe we watch a movie. I don't know. It connected in my brain.
I love it.
So Kylie is 36-year-old meteorologist in Denver.
Hmm.
Used to work for Fox 31 KDVR, currently for 9 News. And her background, she's just a lovely human. My mom has an immediate reaction to any like correspondent, I can't think of reporter, personality on TV. Like she's very funny. She likes who she likes. And we tend to like the same people.
Hmm.
Really like Kylie, okay? She's
Love that.
adorable. And her background is kind of doing kind of local broadcasts, but then she really got into meteorology. So that's part of her degree, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And kind of her brand, her personality, she's just very approachable,
Mm.
warm, loves the outdoors. So it's just a very natural fit for her. And she's cool and easy to listen to and whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that's weird about our personalities on TV is they start to feel familiar. Like we almost feel like we know people sometimes. We watch them every morning. This is less true now than it used to be. I used to wake up every morning and it'd be like the same anchor, right? Or if you're Tina,
Right.
you watch one channel and never the other, right?
Right.
Whatever that is, because she's
Yeah.
attached. Who's the one guy? Kyle something or another. What's his
Oh, I
name?
have no idea. I don't know their names.
Oh, people love him in Denver. He's like a legend in
Mhm.
Denver, but I can't think of his last name. Kyle something. Whatever. Anyway, I know someone who went to the gym with him, which is why he just popped into my head.
That's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, he's a nice guy. Sometimes when these folks are on the screen and they're being warm and conversational and they're local in our community and whatever, they feel overly familiar to
Hmm.
us. And when you have this kind of predictable schedule plus public accessibility where people are watching you on a screen, you can end up in a position where people can actually like find you, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to
Sketchy.
talk about today a little bit is this is a stalking case and Kylie, our lovely local meteorologist,
Hmm.
is currently in the process of fighting a stalking situation in court, has
Yeah.
been open about it, and is fighting for change in our judicial system, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know much about this case, but I do remember seeing her face and I sent it to myself. So here we are.
Hmm. She's also being really fierce about this, and I love that because I think sometimes public personas, they try to dial it back a little, and she is not afraid to say, this is not something I did. This is not my fault.
Good.
The court is not taking care of me, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it's all okay. It's not okay.
Mm-mm. It's
So,
not okay.
just a reminder, we're not giving legal advice. This case is still pending. So, this one gets a heavy dose of the allegedlys today. And also, there is a bit of a discussion we're going to have about stalking. So, if that's a trigger for you, it's just good to be
Mm-hmm.
aware, because I've never experienced this. Please don't stalk me. I can't promise I won't blow your ass away. So just you don't want to do this with us. But we have noticed, even to a degree, on a minor level,
Mm-hmm.
locally, where people who listen, they start to feel connected to you. And it's beautiful. Like Nat and I spoke last week at a conference, and people are like, I've been listening. I feel like I know you. I know this, that, and
Mm-hmm.
the other. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really sweet. And we love connecting with people, and we love all of you. But we are also like very real people. We are real people with real lives. And we do value our privacy too. And so we love connecting with you. But when the wrong person gets fixated on a personality, particularly a lovely woman on the screen, there
Mm-hmm.
is a demographic of folks that can get kind of fixated on that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to break it down. So we're going to back up to like 2022.
Okay.
Okay.
Dang.
Kylie, I know this is the thing. Like
Wow.
these
I
things
did
can
not
go
expect
on.
that. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
these things can go on for a long time. So 2022.
Okay.
She started getting repetitive, unwanted messages through her social media from this person. And they were not necessarily threatening or overtly nasty. They just were repetitive, like somebody reaching out wanting to connect with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I should mention all we know about the perpetrator at this point is it's a 39-year-old male, Colorado Springs resident. So we don't even have his name. And he has been charged with multiple violations of a protection order, which you and I are going to get into.
So sketchy.
But he is not currently charged with felony stalking. No, I know. You and I have seen felony stalking charges for less. So,
Yes.
one of my curiosities as we unfold this is I want you all to be thinking, including Nat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this being treated so differently from intimate partner violence? Because I believe it is, and we'll get into that.
Okay.
The court's not always as consistent as maybe it should be, and that's what Kylie's drawing attention to.
Is it not getting considered because they were technically not intimate partners ever?
Well, it would never be DV because they're not a couple.
Right. And
But
never
what
have.
I'm saying is we have seen felony stalking cases
Mhm.
for lesser stalking behaviors.
Right.
And so I wonder if they're treating this differently because it's not an intimate partner. If they're
Mm.
giving him more of a pass, whereas if it had a domestic violence tag, he'd be meeting with us.
Which is, I mean, I feel like I don't
Hmm.
know if I want to say this out loud, but I'm gonna. Both are super, super serious and very lethal. I feel like when someone fixates on someone that they don't know, it's like it's just a different degree of sketch.
It freaks me out more. Now,
Yes.
statistically, interestingly, you're more likely, of course, to be killed by your intimate partner. But I'm with you, Nat.
Exactly.
The psychology of
Yes.
stranger stalker
Yes.
is always going to give me the willies a little bit.
Terrifying. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift went, I mean, I feel like she goes on through this on the daily basis, but
Yeah.
people are like always standing outside of her house for whatever. But
Whatever
yeah,
paparazzi we have in Denver, I don't know that that's an extensive network, but sure.
no, but I mean, what I'm saying though is there's been serious cases with people like Taylor Swift where
Oh, yeah.
people are like, trying to climb over her fence and they're not paparazzi, they're like genuine stalkers.
They've gotten into houses.
Yeah.
Who was it who had, oh, this is going to drive me nuts because you may have to Google this for me. There is a celeb who, and it might have been Sandra Bullock, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. There is a celebrity where the man actually got into her home while she was home and she was able to get out and call law enforcement. And it was a big name. It was Sandra Bullock, or I mean somebody
Yeah,
there.
Sandra Bullock. Well, it's happened to a few people. Several celebrities, including Sandra Bullock, Jennifer Lopez, and Celine Dion, have all had men break into their homes.
Isn't that terrifying? Jennifer Lopez had kicked some ass. Have you seen her?
Yeah,
I mean, she has the muscles of someone half her age.
I know.
I mean, good luck.
No, yeah.
Jennifer Lopez. Did you see her movie Enough?
I don't think
Oh,
I did.
okay, we're doing this. That'll be a story for another night, but we're doing this. Okay. So, the theme of some of these messages, okay, was sort of a little bit of admiration that started to sort of merge into some kind of perceived relationship ownership and thinking that she was signaling things to him, okay,
Mhm.
which is not an uncommon delusional thought process, right? So it started through social media, then it's getting into workplace pages, right? Like maybe it's in the comment section of an article or whatever. Like it's starting to meander through, then contacting coworkers,
Mm,
then getting into friends and associates.
mm-hmm.
So this would be like someone contacting me to try to get a hold of you.
Right.
That's how close in this is starting to get. Right. So
Creepy.
there's no documented physical contact yet
Okay.
at this point in the stage one. We're in stage one.
Hmm.
But what we're seeing is a parasocial shift into delusional entitlement. Parasocial basically is a one sided emotional relationship formed with a public figure who is unaware of the individual.
Hmm.
Meteorologists, other public figures, actors, and actresses are highly prone to this. And
Okay.
there's a few reasons: direct eye contact through the camera, regularity and routine. Particularly, think about a meteorologist every morning. Every morning you wake up and you see this face, and she's going to tell you what the
Hmm.
weather's going to look like today, and hi,
Hmm.
everyone at home, and it's warm, right?
Right.
And the appearance of locally connected. It feels like they're just like right up the street. And so the risk factors for somebody getting really kind of fixated and then what escalates is there starts to be a delusional belief like we're already together.
Hmm.
Like, oh, she said that for me, or that wink at the end of what I don't think they wink, but let's say they wink at the end of what they say. It's like, oh,
She's like,
that was for
rain,
me.
rain in your area.
We're gonna have a little.
I'd be like,
I'm just
no.
no. John Smith's gonna think that's for him.
Right.
It was for him, so don't do that. I guess is also
Don't
the
wink.
takeaway. Yes. And then if the boundary is set, then you can see kind of rage or panic or both. Because like, oh my God, I might lose my Kylie, my
Right.
my meteorologist friend, right?
Hmm.
Okay, stage two, 2023.
Okay.
We get, and this is something Nat and I know more than we ever wanted to know about, temporary protection order.
Oh my gosh.
So Kylie starts to feel concerned about this persistent contact. So the court does honor the temporary protection order because she was concerned for her personal safety, because
Hmm.
there was a pattern established, which we'll get to in a minute with the laws, and it was increasingly intruding into her personal life.
Mm,
And he would not stop contacting people around her. So he is now aware that he can't contact her and continues to contact her. So that legally puts you in a different place.
right.
Many people will back off when they get a restraining order. Some will intensify, and
Right.
the really high risk folks intensify. And I love this. I don't know if this is a quote from a person. I don't know. But I love this.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it feels I feel like this is really well put, and I've never thought about it this way.
Mm.
From this point on, after a temporary protection order, every message is a crime. We are no longer confused. Now, you
Right. Right.
have a
Right.
mental health issue that is confusing that you need help with, but there's no confusion legally.
Right.
Every single message is a crime.
Right.
5 messages, 5 crimes. Like you are not allowed to contact this person.
Hmm.
So from 2023 to 2024, there were 53 protection order violations in the span of 2 months.
Wow.
Frantic
Wow.
persistence.
Yeah.
And the tone is starting to shift. It's a little volatile. So it's affectionate and then frustrated. And we don't have specific text because this hasn't been made public yet, but it is public record. The violations are public record.
Mm.
Okay. The other thing, and this is actually written into the domestic violence standards in Colorado and treatment and into the law. If you try to circumvent boundaries, so let's say the protection order says I can't contact Natalie.
Right.
But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call her mom and just see how things are going over there.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
Protection order violation. Like third party contact is still a violation. Right? Also, that workplace intrusion is criminal. So the police are now creating a timeline, and Kylie is, by all accounts, including her own, really putting her documentation together. And we're going to get to at the end some takeaways. That's one. She's documenting everything. What do we know about what happens when people continue to fixate over time? What do they tend to do?
Escalate their fixation.
Escalate and pursue,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? That's a form of escalation.
Hmm.
So in 2025, this is the most recent issue that we're having. And I say we because Kylie, girl, we're in this with you, okay? So we talk to so many people who go through this kind of stuff. It's awful.
Yeah.
So recently here, I don't have the exact date, Nat, but you could probably grab it. He went to her private residence. He went to her private residence and he was arrested by police,
Thank goodness.
still charged with misdemeanors, and then he was released pending sentencing.
That's so crazy.
And this is when Kylie goes public. She goes, "We need a stronger legal response." And she's frustrated now.
Well, especially to, I mean, like felony stalking's no joke. And then you
Mm-mm.
add in, like we were saying, the fact that this is a stranger. Like you don't know. I mean, not that you know what like maybe an intimate partner is capable of, but you kind of could more so than a stranger.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if you're in an intimate partner relationship and you're like, I do think they could hurt me. I also like no, like you have some level of expectation because you've seen patterns with them. But with a stranger, like she doesn't know that. I mean, he got out on bail and he's like, cool.
You
He's
have
a
no idea what
up
to
at his house,
expect.
at our house.
No idea what to expect. It's terrifying.
Yes. And clearly he hasn't respected the law boundaries already. So why would he respect the one that is there now after he got arrested? He wouldn't.
He wouldn't. And he's clearly demonstrating that he won't.
Right.
And the thing that's so frightening to me, Nat, people don't know that the DVOMB, Domestic Violence Offender Management Board in Colorado, almost made stalking a critical risk factor, an automatic level C override like strangulation is.
We should.
I think, honestly, I will be very surprised if that doesn't happen at some point. The
Mhm.
research is so clear that that's an escalator. It's really dangerous, all of it.
Yes. Well, and it's like, I mean, the thing with stalking is it's, I don't know how to say this. Like, once you cross a certain line, you can't come back.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like, I mean, with that one, I forget the case that we already covered, that big stalking case that was on the,
Yes. Yes.
it's like she's lucky she's alive.
The one I know, I know which one you're talking about. I thought about this before we hopped on. I was like, I got to get this name.
I
But the,
know.
the gal who talked her way out of a terrible situation.
But
Yes.
like she's lucky she's alive because once a stalking case goes so far, it's like I got no choice but to like kill you because
Hmm.
we're here. You know
Well,
what
and
I
like in the SAT where they have those really annoying analogy questions where it's like
Yeah.
strangulation is to femicide, what showing up at the house is to stalking. It's like
Hmm.
stalking in particular. when they show up at your house, they call it home approach. It's one of the final pre-violence indicators, and those are typically simultaneous. So now you can have like in the show You, where he would stand across the street and watch. That
Hmm.
kind of visual monitoring can go on for quite some time. But
Right,
when somebody
right.
actually comes to your residence,
Right. There's not a lot of turning back.
no, especially if they're looking for you or they're wanting to actually run into you, they're not just watching you.
Wild.
It's pretty scary,
Yeah.
right?
I have nightmares.
So, what I want to do is run through the laws for like 2 seconds, if you will indulge me, because people don't know this. And also, some of y'all are stalking and you don't know it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
be really frank, and men and women stalk a little differently sometimes. So we're going to talk about that. So, in the Colorado revised statutes, so this is specific to Colorado, but there are equivalent laws all across the country and in other countries. If stalking is charged, it's always a felony. So it's always a felony if charged as stalking.
Mm,
So the key with stalking, just like domestic violence is an enhancer to other crimes, the thing with stalking, you have to meet the legal threshold for stalking.
mhm.
Once you do, it's a felony. So
Right.
there's three ways that this can happen, three legal routes to stalking. Number one is there's a credible threat plus repeated contact.
Hmm.
Number two is there's a credible threat plus repeated communication.
Okay.
Okay. Number three, repeated unwanted contact causing reasonable emotional distress. And I got a bone to pick with law enforcement on this one because I don't think law enforcement takes this seriously enough. Some jurisdictions don't take this seriously enough. If someone calls someone 85 times in an hour and a half, it is terrifying. Your phone is ringing every hour.
We
Like,
talked about this in group.
this makes me nuts. We just talked about this because it's actually scary.
When people are
Us-
like, I don't know why I was arrested. All I did was call them a bunch. I'm like, because you called them a bunch.
Because it's awful. And also, and by the way, men and women both do this.
Yep.
Women are, I think, really likely to try to get a question answered. Men sometimes will keep communicating and not even leaving any words. And
Right.
the reason that's scary is you don't know what they're thinking.
Hmm.
And so I had an officer tell a friend one time, we'll just block him. And I'm like,
No.
no, I want to know what he's thinking.
Yes.
So I'm not saying don't block him. Okay. We're not giving legal advice today and we are not being your therapist today. But
But
what I
contact someone who could help you.
document, get help, go talk to somebody, but just blocking someone is you definitely don't want to keep engaging with them because it's like restarting the clock,
Right.
but it is helpful to know what they're thinking.
But if you, yeah, if you block them and they're escalated, you don't know, again, you don't know what they're capable of. And
Yeah.
so I would rather have someone continue to blow my phone up than to show up at my house because I'm no longer reading their response. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. So here's where this gets tricky because Kylie is doing everything we tell
Mhm.
survivors to do.
Mhm.
Everything law enforcement would tell someone to do. There's repeated contact check. It's
Mhm.
scary, particularly because she doesn't know this person. Check. She
Mhm.
should have met the criteria for felony stalking,
Mhm.
but there's a legal gap. And I didn't actually know about this, Nat, until I looked this up today. So this is very interesting. You have to have, and this is more recent, proof that the accused, so the perpetrator's mindset was to cause fear.
Mm.
So the law now cares about what was in his head, not just that she was afraid.
Hmm.
So when we get into counterman, we're going to get into like two case law things that inform this. When we talk about counterman, the counterman law came out of the Supreme Court and it was Counterman versus Colorado in 2023.
Mhm.
The Supreme Court now requires recklessness about whether the conduct is threatening. So we now have to prove intent that the calling is threatening.
That's ridiculous.
Because it at least has to be reckless.
Right.
Like, I know this could scare her and I'm doing it anyway. Like, that's at least that has to be met. So,
Right.
with a mentally ill perpetrator, let's say there's nothing out about this guy. We don't know. He might just want to date her. I honestly don't know. But let's say you have somebody with a major mental illness, they're not necessarily more or less likely to hurt the person they're stalking. But
Right.
now we have to prove intent, which means we have to have the following: served protection orders, which, by the way, it's way harder to serve someone than you think it is,
Mhm.
escalation after the order, documented, like this has to happen before we can go back to court and do something about it, which
Right.
that's when people can die, is just that alone, that
Yes.
escalation alone, attempted proximity, and interference with employment.
Hmm.
Girl, if we can't prove that, then we're going to have a hard time
Right.
proving stalking. And the reason this was so discouraging, did you go to that stalking training with me a few years ago?
No,
I don't think you were working with me yet. It was
I was, but I didn't go.
it was so good. They brought in somebody who was from DC and had worked with the FBI and stuff, and they came in with the electronic stalking stuff and all the things. I learned so much that day. It was unbelievable. We've gone backwards.
Yeah.
The laws. And that is so discouraging to me because the laws were just starting to keep people more safe.
I wonder
That,
why they went backwards.
well, what do you think? Why would they go backwards?
I honestly don't know. I feel like it's counterintuitive.
Mm,
In my in personal and professional opinion, I think it's counterintuitive to go backwards on
mm-hmm,
stalking.
mm-hmm.
Because stalking, like we just talked about, is such a major risk factor that I don't know, not to treat it more seriously is um I don't know, I don't know, it's criminal in my opinion.
Well, I'm not an attorney, but the cases I'm seeing with stalking domestic violence, maybe they just assume it's threatening and reckless because it's intimate partner.
Mhm.
But I gotta tell you, like, what they're expecting of this perpetrator with Kylie, alleged perpetrator, is they're putting that bar like really, really, really high comparatively.
Mhm.
And I'm I'm pretty concerned about this, honestly.
Mhm.
Now, we have successfully the only people, and I mean people meaning like five or less,
Mhm.
that I have recommended incarceration for in my career have been repeated stalkers. And the reason is because the intrusive thoughts, the drivers behind that behavior, the power and control, and the risk all together. If
Mhm.
someone will not respect a protection order, they probably need a higher level of containment. And typically, if you're on probation and you're still doing it, if you're in community corrections and you're still doing it, if you're still doing that while under supervision, there's not much that's going to stop you besides stronger containment, inpatient, mandatory inpatient treatment, or incarceration. Like, you need a higher level of containment. Dude, how many did I say? 53 protection order violations?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we had somebody go to DOC over seven.
Right.
So
No, I know. It's crazy. That's
really,
crazy.
it's really frightening. And I find myself working in the forensic space
Mm.
really worried about how I would keep one of my clients safe, work with them to keep themselves safe with the way that we're kind of walking back the laws. So tell us about Bonnie's Law. Bonnie's
Okay.
Law predates this adjustment with Counterman. So tell us about Bonnie's Law.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just read it.
Go for it.
So, Bonnie's Law is a Colorado law passed in 2015 that strengthened penalties and legal processes for stalking cases. It requires that anyone arrested for stalking must appear before a judge to be released, automatically receives a no contact order with the alleged victim and must sign a document acknowledging the release terms. The law was named in memory of Vani Flores, who was murdered by a man who stalked her for years.
So 2015, this is fascinating that's when I had the training. It was about Bonnie's Law because that timing makes sense. And they came out to train us about these changes
Hmm.
because the mandatory first court appearance is huge. Because basically what they say is we're not letting you out until you appear before a judge, number one. We're going to
Okay,
serve you an automatic protection order, and then you are going to acknowledge that you understand the protection order before you are released.
yeah. Okay, a Leadville teaching assistant was shot to death Wednesday night by her next door neighbor who had been stalking her for approximately 2 years. Dude, this was like in Leadville. This was in Colorado.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, no, this is a Colorado law. Bonnie's law
Yeah,
is a Colorado law. Yeah.
that's wild. I don't know. So it was a neighbor.
Yeah, we got trained on this because it was such a big change. And we saw the stalking charges go up significantly after this because it gave us a little bit of an easier definition. They emphasized the pattern, but they really helped empower people to establish the pattern. And
Mhm.
then this affects domestic violence because they did a similar thing with domestic violence where there's the automatic protection order. They have to acknowledge the protection order, even if it's modified. They have
Mhm.
to acknowledge it and be like, I understand it.
Yeah, no. So really quickly, she had a husband and she was stalked by her neighbor.
Mm,
So it was not domestic violence. So that's like the other thing, right? Like that's what we are just
mhm.
saying about being stalked by someone random. You just don't know what they're capable of. You have no idea.
So Vonnie's Law was literally written for
This
someone like
situation.
Kylie. This
Yep.
situation exactly. Because of that change, it is quite literally
Yes.
handcuffing the law that was written to keep people like Vonnie and Kylie safe. So that's just disheartening
Yep.
a bit,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Why do you think, Nat, they would be more patient? I don't know what the word is. Patient, lenient, probably lenient
Mhm.
if it's not an intimate partner situation, knowing we have Vonnie's law on the books.
It's a really hard question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know why, because I don't agree with it at all. Um, I don't I don't see the reasoning. I don't understand the reasoning, but I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Here's why this sucks. And now I'm going to have to get involved because now I'm upset. And when I didn't know about this, I genuinely didn't know about this. And I was so excited about the Vonnie's law
Hmm.
stuff. That felt like such a step forward. I didn't know about this somehow.
Mm.
I'm frustrated reading this because one of the things that we do, you and I work with prevention with the offender. That's what we do. We get in there with the person who's struggling with aggression, impulsivity, whatever. If we're trying to help people keep themselves safe, which every advocacy group in the country does, we need served protection orders, escalation after the order, all to demonstrate all of those things.
Hmm.
We are putting someone's life in danger
Yeah.
just to get this done. So, like, counterman makes it harder to act early. And what we know is early action is what stops violence and protects people. Weird. I don't love this. I'm going to dig into this one a different day, but we're going to have to go down to the Capitol. That's what we're going to have to do. Nat,
Deal.
you know,
Deal.
I'm working my way down there. We're going to we're going to need to
I
have some
love it.
conversations because I really don't like this. So, what are some good safety planning things for public facing
Mhm.
victims, but also for just people who are struggling with an intimate partner, a former intimate partner, maybe, or even a current intimate partner who's exhibiting stalking behaviors?
So documentation, oh my gosh. I tell my some of my survivors that I've worked with this all the time. Documentation trail, so screenshots, logs, dates. So like make sure this is why we talk about again, we're not like giving you legal advice, but don't block because the information you're getting is actually helpful
Yeah.
for documentation and to actually, unfortunately, prove what's going on. Um,
And if you're talking to law enforcement and they blow you off and tell you to block them, say, "Can I speak to a victim advocate, please?" Which we'll get to in a minute.
Ha. One clear quotes telling them to stop, then no, not responding. So saying, please stop contacting me, right? Like making it very, very clear. And then as they continue, now you have a case. Remove home address from the internet to the best that you can. This is tough sometimes depending on like work or whatever, but yeah, try not to have. And also, this is another thing that a lot of people don't know when it comes to social media. Social media actually, sometimes when you just like sign up, it opts you into having your location shared. So be really mindful of that. Snapchat is really big with this. Instagram, actually, too, you have to go specifically into your Instagram account and to into the settings and actually change your location to off. So, same thing with Facebook. You have to do all of that with all of those things. Vary routines when possible. So, like, change up your routine, maybe drive a different way home if you're a little nervous about someone.
I always am like alert to the best of my
Same,
ability.
same.
You and I have been on the phone before when it's like, what? What's
Hmm.
that car behind me? And it's usually, I mean, well, obviously, it's always, to my knowledge, been a big nothing.
Right.
But I really try to pay attention, and I think we've got to do that just
Yeah.
in general, but especially if you're public facing.
Yes. Employer support, I love this, is critical, especially in media and in the media industry. So making sure your coworkers and people like your, bosses and whoever are aware of what's going on. If you have someone reaching out to you, just make sure that they know so they can help support you in the best that they can.
And have security. I mean, have some security parameters, which we
Yeah.
and people need. People need to have that.
Yes, it's huge. And then mental health care, like again, get the help that you need. Don't let yourself, I think it's easy to kind of, and I don't know, I don't think I've ever been stalked, but I feel like sometimes, especially women, we tend to say like, no, it's fine. Like, I'll be okay. But like, get help, reach out to advocate for yourself. Janine and I have both worked with survivors of obviously domestic violence, but also of people who've been stalked. And so the more aware you are, the better off you're going to be. And sometimes we need to see a professional in order to build that skill.
Absolutely. And when it comes to advocating, when victims speak publicly, so whether it's
Mm,
that Netflix show that we covered or Kylie being so brave to come out and talk about this, really kind of challenging law enforcement. If you are calling with a friend or you're supporting someone, ask questions. The police should be able to answer questions. Now, I do realize not everybody gets the same audience with every police officer, and we
right.
have work to do in terms of having a more equal,
Robust.
equal and safe system, right? But you should be able to ask questions if you're supporting someone who's being stalked and you don't think it's being taken seriously. And it's okay to ask, okay, well, then what?
Right.
So then what? So you're saying it's not a thing. So what is it going to take?
Right.
Right? And can I get a direct quote from you on that for
Mhm.
the in memory of biography that we write if something bad happens? Because
And
I'm
can I
not
get it
here
on
for that.
recording on my phone?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you tell me this is not a big deal? You
Yeah.
know? We have to fight for ourselves sometimes. You can find victim advocates who actually specialize in stalking online. I found that out. So make sure it's
Oh.
legitimate. But if you look at even in Colorado, there's COVA, there's national victim advocate organizations. I mean, you can find an advocate. There are trainings, there's all kind of stuff, that you can connect with. One one piece I wanted to add in here that is not something you'll hear on most podcasts, okay? Because they're going to focus on the survivors. To the stalkers out there, and I'm not talking about the dangerous ones who are going to show up at somebody's door. I'm talking about your
Mhm.
average Joe or
Mhm.
average Sue who's Facebook stalking an ex, looking at things on Instagram, messing around. You know what you're doing.
And stop.
Stop it. It's doing
Stop.
a dopamine thing in your brain, and you are actually a little bit fixated. And the more you reinforce it, the more you feed the beast, the bigger the beast gets. Just
Yes.
knock it off. Don't go park and watch your ex. Don't drive by that house. Go do something else instead. Take yourself to a Starbucks, get you a pumpkin spice latte. You don't have to go see who's parked in your ex-boyfriend's driveway. Just get over it.
No.
Get a
Yes.
therapist
And
and move on.
I was going to say, get a therapist.
Get a therapist.
Get a therapist. If you are super hung up on somebody, okay, first of all, I just have to say, Janine is drinking her little
My
night
cherry juice.
routine in a solo cup, which is giving me life.
Blue Solo cup.
No, I love it. Um, but get a therapist
Mhm.
because here's the thing, I can empathize with people who feel like that fixation on something. Get help.
Get help.
Get
It's
help.
human nature to be curious. It's human
Yeah.
nature to
Yes.
want to know what's going on.
But it turns into something really ugly really quickly.
Yes, and is it serving you?
No.
Is it serving you? Probably not. You checking on your first boyfriend or your 50th boyfriend, it doesn't really matter, or your third husband. I know you're parked somewhere watching the front of the house. Just move on. And it is men and women. And honestly, men, in my experience, get to stalking in a way it does have kind of this perceived ownership vibe. Women just cannot deal.
Women, it's like I mean, for both, it's a fixation. I think women, it's like it's not about, not always. I mean, people can take things to like big extremes,
Mm-hmm.
whenever, but I think women, it's like just this need to know.
Yes.
Whereas men, it's like you said, it's like what's the term?
Ownership, like a perceived
Ownership.
ownership.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Perceived ownership, right? But for women, I think it's like, I just have to know.
Yeah, and I will say one of the scariest clients, and I say scary not because I think this person would have hurt anyone, but because the pathology was so hard to treat.
Hmm.
It was a revenge stalking against another female, not
Oh yeah, you told
intimate
me about that.
partner.
Yes.
Yes. And because Nat and I used to run groups that were just more general cognitive restructuring, which basically means
I loved those groups.
me too, but
I
it
loved
means
them.
something wild is going on, and you might have an arsonist sitting next to a stalker, sitting next to
No, it was
somebody who
wild.
punched
I
the
had like,
crossing guard. Like it
no,
was
I had,
wild.
yeah, I had people who were like road ragey, and then
Yeah.
like
Oh, road rage. I forgot about that. That was like
I had a
50% of the
mom
group.
one time who she was like, I wigged out because some chick touched my daughter's hair. And I was like,
Okay.
I kind of get it, but also like, don't wig out on
Maybe
people.
don't pummel her and then end up in a court order group. Like it's a
Literally.
little bit wild, but that intrusive thought, that lack of self-control is the thing that
Yep.
fuels stalking behavior. And then there's an extra layer of mental health in a piece like this. And again, we don't know specifics, but this looks like that parasocial, this
Hmm.
person feels familiar. I'm connected to them. I don't want to let that go. I want to get closer. And it's so scary to the person on the receiving end. And our society like downplays it a little bit,
Right.
a little bit. But
Right.
the movie, I'll tell you, you want to have a scary movie
Oh gosh.
post Halloween. If you watch the movie The Roommate, it's not scary like you watch actually scary movies, like big scary movies, but it's giving single white female vibes,
Mm,
but has Minka Kelly in it and Leighton, oh, what's her last name from Gossip Girl? You know
I
what
don't
I'm talking
remember.
about? Okay. Anyway, great movie. It's overblown. It's a little dramatic. It's a little overblown, but it's actually a really good depiction
Hmm.
of like a friendship stalking dynamic.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there's that. Anyway, all this to say, Kylie, we love you, girl. We're so sorry.
We have your back.
We have your
That
back.
we can.
We're gonna call the Capitol. You know what?
We're gonna call the cat.
Do you know what? I
Janine,
said this
what are
like
we doing?
20 episodes ago and we didn't do it. And we need to do it with this one.
What?
I think we need to put up how to contact
Mm.
the state of Colorado
Yeah.
about this particular law and
Yeah.
ask them to make it make sense.
Mhm.
Make counterman make sense. And maybe there's something legislatively that we can do. And maybe Kylie will lead that charge. Maybe she'd come on the pod, Nat, and maybe we could actually really, really look at the laws because this is really going to complicate our ability to keep people safe.
Mhm.
And that's unacceptable,
Yeah, I agree.
you know?
Yep.
Closing thought, couple resources. Stalkingawareness.org is a great
Mhm.
resource. I looked it up earlier today. It has a bunch of great information.
Love that.
Again, the domestic violence hotline, which hopefully you'll know by heart someday because we're going to be saying it a lot more often. 800-799-SAFE,
Hmm.
right? And then more locally here in Colorado, you can call 844-493-8255, or you can text talk to 38255.
Yes.
Those
Use
can
those,
be helped
use
get.
those resources if you need to, because they're there for a reason.
Absolutely. And yeah, so it's a sad case, but also
Yeah.
really got me thinking today. Like I am chewing on this one for
Well,
sure.
and you know what though? One of the things I really appreciate about this case, and we had just interviewed Miss Grace Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one of those survivor cases where she has her own voice and she's using her own, like she's using it and finding empowerment through all of that, right? Like she's not just like, okay, well, like the court say this and this is what the law is. She's like actually fighting.
Yes.
So I appreciate that. I mean, it sucks that that's the reality at times, and I'm going to just be biased for women,
Mm-hmm.
to keep themselves safe. But the fact that she's like, you know what? No, I don't agree with this, and she's going out there, good for you.
Well, and women are just not as likely to be violent stalkers.
Right.
That's the thing. When we look at violence, that's the big change, the big difference between men and women.
Yep.
Okay, the stalking of Samantha Stites.
There it is.
So it's the episode that we released on August 29th of this year, A Deep and Disturbing Obsession, The Stalking of Samantha Stites. And so if this is interesting to you or you want to know more about a stalking case, that case is really kind of a textbook example of an escalation in stalking behavior and a really, really courageous survivor.
Yep.
So thanks y'all for joining us, and we will see you next time. As always,
Bye, forensic friends.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more crime, psychology, and heart.